The member for Chisholm.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Treasurer. Will the Treasurer update the House on how the government is keeping taxes under control and providing tax relief to hard-working Australians, including in my electorate of Chisholm? Would a different approach produce a better result?
The Treasurer has the call.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and I thank the member for Chisholm for her question. The government has a tax plan, a personal tax plan for all working Australians, because all working Australians who pay tax work, and they all deserve to benefit from a personal tax plan, that gives them relief. Over the next 10 years, those working Australians will pay more than $3,000 billion in personal income tax over the next decade. Now, we believe a personal tax plan that affords them $140 billion worth of personal tax relief is a great step forward, Mr Speaker. So I was surprised when the opposition came in here and tried to strip that plan by a half. They sought and they voted to strip out $70 billion worth of tax relief for hard-working Australians, to take a $140 billion plan for tax relief and turn it into a $70 billion plan. That's what they've done with the tax plan. They've halved the amount of tax relief, Mr Speaker, that we're seeking to provide. Now, Mr Speaker, that plan involves step one, as we know, to provide low to middle income earners with tax relief, some 60,000 in the member for Chisholm's electorate, Mr Speaker. But step two, which the Labor Party sought to strip out, does this. It protects those working Australians from the impacts of bracket creep, which strips away their hard-earned as their wages only have to increase by inflation, Mr Speaker. And what the Labor Party want to do is claw that all back in bracket creep and spend all the money. What it means is, under step two of our plan, that someone who is earning $76,000 today, $76,000 under our plan, will pay no more than 32.5 cents over the next decade, Mr Speaker. You know what they'll pay under the Labor Party? They'll pay 37 cents in the future, Mr Speaker. Someone on $76,000 today. Now, step three, Mr Speaker. Step three, as the Prime Minister said, ensures that 94% of Australians will pay no more than 32.5 cents in the dollar. And that includes someone who is on an average wage today of full-time earnings of $84,600. Now, under Labor's plan, in the future, they will pay 37 cents. Under our plan, they'll pay 32.5 cents, Mr Speaker. So our personal tax plan is anchored in middle-income Australia, Mr Speaker. Those opposite want to strip away the hard-earned wages of Australians by clawing it back and tax back, Mr Speaker. And we only have to look no further than the member for Batman to understand why, who said this back in 2016. She said, "We need to stop talking about tax as a burden," she says. Tax, as I apologise, this is a direct quote, Mr Speaker, she says tax is a bloody privilege. Mr Speaker, under the Labor Party, if tax is a privilege, it'll be a very privileged